Here's my review of X-Men 97, Episode 4. This episode was great, although it does feel a little weird because there are two separate plots going on at the same time. Um, with Storm and then kind of our main one with Jubilee. But it works. Like, our main plot is with Jubilee and Sunspot, where, so, she has to do like these drills. She's mad that she can't enjoy like a day off because with Magneto making her do these drills, and so she's kind of mad about that. So then she does. So what she wants to do is play a video game with Sunspot. But then Sunspot and her get sucked into the video game, and then it's kind of like a battle world. And it's really, really cool. I always love these kinds of things. And whether it's any kind of show where they go into when they go into a movie or a video game, it's always really cool and really unique, especially seeing who's behind it. I mean, you can kind of predict it if you watch the original series, but if you don't, you would be surprised to know that it is Mojo, who looks as gross as ever. And I think that it's such a weird villain because his whole motivation is just he has this TV show and he just wants these ratings. It's such a funny concept. It's so meta, but I thought that it was great. And will say, I think Jubilee is becoming quickly like one of my favorite characters in this show. I mean, it's got to be Cyclops number one. I mean, he's been doing, although he's not in this episode, it's mainly just like Jubilee, Sunspot, and then Storm episode. But I mean, it's really cool though to see like all these lesser known characters get the spotlight like they did in the anime series, and it's really awesome. And this episode is no different. It's also great. And they also do these really cool parts where they'll show these 8-bit fights that just make it feel even more like a video game. It's so cool. I thought that it was awesome. But we see how she's stuck, how they're stuck in this video game, and it's really interesting in the way how they get out. I thought that it was really cool. So Jubilee meets a future version of herself, and they help her defeat Mojo, and then they escape. And it was awesome. It's just so unique. I love the visual, the beautiful colors, especially with Jubilee's powers being these firework powers. It always just looks beautiful, and I thought it was great. And this whole storyline, this whole subplot, this A plot was just great. And we also have a B plot with Storm, which I thought was also very good. I wouldn't say that I enjoyed it as much, although I would say that I feel like it might have had more emotion, but it just wasn't as fun as the parts with Sunspot and Jubilee. But I still thought it was great. I mean, Storm is a character, though, how I want her to get her power back because she lost it, second episode, the last episode. And, I mean, she's such a cool character. I mean, she was one of my favorite characters in the original series, so I really hope she gets her powers back and we can see more of her because she's great. And, I mean, even when she doesn't have her powers here, I mean, just listening to her, I love just the way she talks. I love her personality. It's just awesome. And also, I did not expect this, where Jubilee and Sunspot are, I guess, now a couple, which, hey, that's something different. I mean, I'm very curious to see where that goes. So yeah, in this episode, you have really creative animation. Mojo is just a blast as always. Great moments with Storm, and as well as romance. I swear, this show just keeps getting better and better with each episode. And what is so good about, I think, this show is it's doing a great job of it. Feels like you could just each one of these episodes, they're kind of feel I mean, this is they can do continued storylines, especially considering this episode is part 1. It's specifically labeled part 1, but it still feels like a complete story, and I thought that it was great. And that's what I think is so good about the show is each episode can still be viewed, I think, as just an individual episode. And I thought that this episode was no exception. It was just another great episode. I'm loving this show so far.